I stare at the empty glass on the counter. It's late evening, maybe close to midnight, but I've lost track of the clock. The kitchen lights are dimmed to a soft glow that seems to highlight every speck of dust on the countertop. That glass used to be full, bourbon, neat. Now it's just empty, the ice melted into thin water trails. I think about pouring another, but the idea weighs on me. Instead, I place my hand on the rim and let my fingertips rest there for a second, feeling the cool dryness of the glass edge. From upstairs, I hear the rush of water. The shower. Melissa's in there. She went without a word. Didn't even look back as she crossed the living room, stepped out of her heels, and climbed the stairs, leaving me alone with questions churning in my head. The events of this night are all tangled together. The phone calls, the revelations, the dull ache in my chest that pulses like a second heartbeat. My brain throbs with images I don't want. Images of her with him. I can practically see the outline of them. Shadowy shapes behind a closed door somewhere else, and I have to clench my teeth to stop my imagination from running wild. She lied. She pretended. Now I'm here, drowning in the silence she's left behind. I think back to earlier tonight. How did it all start? We'd been in the living room, me on the couch flipping through channels, trying to ignore the phone buzzing on the coffee table. A wave of tension had already settled between us, so thick you could scrape it off with a knife. But she just stood there, eyes flicking from me to the phone. Then she said, almost casually, "I'm going to take a shower." The way she said it, the slight tremor in her voice, told me everything was wrong. And yet, I let her walk upstairs. Let her shut the bathroom door. Let the water run, as if rinsing away guilt was that easy. I exhale, pushing away from the counter. I follow her trail, stepping onto the first stair. The quiet house amplifies every creak under my feet. My chest feels tight, like I'm carrying 2 decades of frustration up these steps. Near the top, I pause. The muffled roar of the shower meets my ears, and a faint swirl of steam seeps under the bathroom door. She's in there, alone. I open the bedroom door first. There's a heaviness in the air, a stale tension that's been building for months. The bed is made neatly, but I notice her clothes tossed on a chair. The blouse, the skirt, the expensive lace undergarments that now feel like a mockery. Something stirs in me, a flicker of hot anger, and then pity, and then a strange sense of disconnection. I've known about Travis for a few weeks. Not everything, but enough. I suspected it when Melissa came home from her marketing trips with that new perfume scent clinging to her dress, or when she'd glance at her phone in the middle of the night, reading a text she refused to show me. The distance between us was more than emotional. It was like a physical wall. I tried to break it down, but every time I asked, she'd deflect with skillful words, half-truths, or a dismissive shrug. I believed her for too long because I wanted to. I believed her because marriage is supposed to be built on trust, right? A few nights ago, the final puzzle piece fell into place. A phone call from a mutual acquaintance, someone who'd seen them together at a bar downtown. Hands entwined, eyes locked. I confronted Melissa, and she denied it, a tear sliding down her cheek as she swore it was a misunderstanding. She lied, and I swallowed that lie. Until earlier this evening when a second phone call came, confirming everything. She's with him. She left for him. Maybe not physically out of the house yet, but her heart has already crossed that border. The test results, the details I'd been too numb to handle, hammered in the final nail. She's been lying all along, about trust, about love, about us. I grip the doorknob to the bathroom. The water still runs. My hand trembles on the metal, and the anger I've bottled up flickers again. I picture her under that hot spray, hair slicked back, soap washing away the sweat. The guilt, the evidence. A small part of me hates how visual my imagination is. Another part feels savage satisfaction that she's in there, cornered by her own actions. But I don't open the door. Instead, I back away. There's no point in a scene here. No point in yelling over the water and demanding answers she won't give. That's not how I want to handle this. Anger pulses in my chest, yet I force it down. I walk downstairs again. The living room is dim, illuminated only by a single floor lamp. The phone sits on the table, silent now. I know who called. Travis. He's called 3 times tonight, probably wanting to check if I'm out of the picture, if she's free to slip away unnoticed. That simple thought ignites a wave of disgust. I take a seat on the couch. The cushions still bear the imprint of her weight. I wait. My mind is a swirl of fractured memories. Her laugh on our wedding day. The nights we'd stay up sharing cheap wine and talking about the future. The moments I thought we'd be strong enough to weather anything. Then I see Travis's face. Tall, confident, maybe a little smug. The kind of guy who looks like he's never experienced failure. It makes me sick to think my wife wants that kind of charm. That new spark, something I couldn't provide. But there's also a part of me that's hollow, like I've gone numb. Anger, pity, shock. My emotions drift from one extreme to another. I force myself to stay calm, to remind myself there's a plan. When she finally comes down, she's in a silk robe, hair damp, skin flushed from the heat of the shower. She doesn't meet my eyes right away. We stand there in the living room, silent. I notice a single drop of water rolling down her neck, disappearing into the fabric. I needed that shower, she mutters, crossing her arms. I was stressed. I'm sorry if. Her words stick to the air, incomplete. I don't respond. I just watch her, letting the moment hang between us. I can see her discomfort, the way she fidgets with the robe belt, the way she studies the carpet. Finally, I break the silence. Travis called earlier. She jerks her gaze to me. And you answered. No, I say. But I know it was him. She closes her eyes briefly, exhaling. I don't want to do this right now. Can we just what? I snap, louder than I intended. The anger flares. Pretend nothing happened. That I don't know. She stares at me, tears brimming. For a moment, I feel that old pang of protective instinct. She's my wife. But then I recall the evidence that slammed into me just hours ago, the phone call that spelled out everything. My sympathy melts under the heat of betrayal. In that blink of an eye, she realizes I'm done pretending. Her lips quiver as she attempts to form words. David, it was a mistake. A mistake. My voice echoes in the quiet house. Melissa, a mistake is forgetting to pay a bill on time or buying the wrong brand of coffee. This is you sneaking around with another man. That's not a mistake. It's a choice. She flinches like I've slapped her. Her cheeks flush, and tears slide down one by one, but she doesn't speak. Instead, she slumps onto the couch, burying her face in her hands. My mind flashes back to the phone call from earlier. The test results on her phone. The story told by a friend. The confirmation from the private investigator I'd stupidly hired at the last moment of desperation. I wasn't prepared for how ugly the truth would be, but here it is, shining brightly in front of me. My wife has been seeing Travis Baker, an architect she met during a work event downtown. They've spent weekends in a hotel, sneaking around while I was none the wiser. I stand there for a moment, feeling the surge of emotions I swore I'd control. Then I step around the coffee table to face her. Look at me, I say. She does, her eyes wide, red-rimmed, guilty. You lied. I continue, voice low. You dragged me through months of suspicion, made me doubt my own sanity. All for him. Trembling, she forces out, I never meant for it to go so far. It just started as flirting, then it became more. I didn't want to hurt you. It's like a punch in the gut. I feel that wave of pity, then raw anger again. But you did, I say. You did it all behind my back. And you let me think I was the crazy one. She reaches for my hand, and I pull away. I see the sorrow in her eyes, but I also remember the lies. The nights she came home late, the meaningless excuses, the phone turned face down on the table. This is the woman who once claimed to love me. A swirl of memories chokes me. I sink into the armchair, running a hand over my face. I want you to tell me everything, I say finally. No more half-truths. She nods, swallowing hard. Travis and I met at a marketing convention. We had dinner, just talking about projects. We clicked, shared ideas. It felt refreshing. Like I wasn't just a wife living in the suburbs, but a woman with ambition, goals. Her eyes flicked to me, uncertain if I'll lash out. It turned physical about a month later. I tried to stop it, but her voice cracks. She's lying again, or maybe she's telling a partial truth. Either way, I don't care. The specifics are a knife twisting deeper, but I need it. I need to feel something real, to confirm that this betrayal is as significant as it feels. Why not just leave? I ask hoarsely. If you wanted him, why not pack up and go? She breathes in sharply. I was scared. I didn't know if we were truly over. I thought maybe it was just a phase, that I could come back to you and fix things. A bitter chuckle escapes me. You think there's any fixing this? Silence. Her tears stop, replaced by a blank emptiness on her face. That hurts almost as much as the confession. It's as if she's resigned, as if she's known all along that this was unstoppable. My phone buzzes again. I check the caller ID. Travis. Of course. Her eyes move to the phone, lingering for a second, then dart away. She knows he's waiting for an update, waiting for her to say, I'm out. He knows. I'm done. I stand. Do you want to go to him now? I ask, my voice low and shaking. She just stares at me, speechless, uncertain of how to answer. I don't wait for one. Instead, I walk to the kitchen, that same empty glass mocking me on the counter. I pour a measure of bourbon, ignoring the trembling in my hand. As I swallow the liquor, I remember the last time I stood in this exact spot, about 2 hours ago, when I got that life-shattering phone call. She left for him, the voice had said, clear as day. Mentally, she's gone, David. She only stays in your house because it's safe. But emotionally, physically, she's already chosen Travis. I had felt a strange combination of relief and rage. Relief that I wasn't insane, that my instincts were right. Rage at the magnitude of her betrayal. I told the caller to never call me again, slammed the phone down, and stared at the boiling water on the stove, water I'd set to make tea, but never followed through. Now, in the present, I slammed the glass on the counter. Melissa appears in the doorway, robe still clinging to her damp skin, posture tense. David, please, she begins. I didn't want to lose everything. A harsh bark of laughter rips from me. You sure? Because from where I stand, you've done a pretty thorough job of destroying us. She steps closer, tears in her eyes again. I'll end it with him, she pleads. I will, if that's what you want. My throat tightens. I think of all the nights I prayed for her to be honest, for her to choose me. Now that the truth is out, the offer sounds hollow. It's laced with desperation, not love. Suddenly, I can't stand her presence. I shove past her and head for the hallway. I snatch my jacket from the hook. I need to clear my head. She calls after me, David, wait. But I'm already stepping into the cool night air. The door slams behind me. My body trembles with adrenaline and anger. And for a moment, I stand on the porch, inhaling the crisp air. The streets are mostly quiet, a few lamps illuminating the sidewalk. My mind whirls, trying to piece everything together. I start walking without direction. House after house, driveway after driveway, all dark windows except for the occasional flicker of a television set. It feels surreal to be out here when my marriage is on the brink of collapse inside that house. I pass a neighbor's yard, think about how they probably have no idea about the storm raging next door. As I circle back to my driveway an hour later, I see that the lights in the living room are still on. My heart lurches. In a normal world, I'd enter to find Melissa flipping through a magazine, or finishing a glass of wine, or dozing off on the couch. But this world is no longer normal. I step inside. She's there, on the couch, eyes swollen from crying. A suitcase stands by the door. My pulse jumps. What's that for? I ask, though I already know. She inhales sharply. I'm going to a hotel. Give you some space. I called Travis and told him I can't do this anymore. I stare at the suitcase. You mean you're leaving me tonight, or you're leaving him tonight? Because it sounds the same in your head. She looks away. David, please don't twist this. I'm leaving you for now, yes, but only to respect your space. I told Travis I can't keep meeting him, that I need to fix my marriage. Is that supposed to make me feel better? My voice cracks. It's too late, Melissa. She steps forward, hands trembling. Can you at least give me a chance to prove I mean it? Every muscle in my body tenses. My mind flips through 1,000 memories, good and bad. All the times I overlooked the distance between us, the times I forgave her coldness, the times I doubted my own intuition. I look at her, and I don't see the woman I married. I see a stranger wearing her face, tears and all. I nod once, stiffly. Go, I say. We'll talk tomorrow. She picks up the suitcase, expression pained. Before she walks out, she turns to me, eyes shining. I am sorry, David. Then she's gone. I sink into the couch, bury my face in my hands, and exhale a shaky breath. Maybe I should be relieved she's out of the house, giving me space to breathe. But all I feel is an overwhelming sadness that hollows me out. I wanted to rage, to break things, to yell. Instead, I'm just tired. The hours pass. I don't move much, aside from refilling my bourbon once, maybe twice. My phone buzzes again. Travis's number. A surge of fury moves me to answer. Stop calling, I say in a low, venomous tone. He hesitates, but I hear the arrogance in his voice. David, listen. Don't speak my name like we're friends, I snarl. Don't ever call this number again. He tries to respond, but I end the call and shut off the phone. My hands are shaking, my breath ragged. I look around at the living room. The photos on the wall, the life we built in this quiet suburb, the life that's unraveling. Eventually, exhaustion claims me. I drift off on the couch, the smell of stale liquor heavy in my nostrils, my mind swimming in nightmarish visions of Melissa in another man's arms. Morning arrives with a harsh beam of sunlight stabbing through the curtains. My neck aches from sleeping in a weird position. For a moment, I forget the entire fiasco, but reality hits like a hammer when I see her empty robe flung over a chair. I force myself up, numb. I toss the robe onto the bed and decide to call in sick. There's no way I can handle meetings today. My head pounds with questions. Did she really break it off with Travis, or was that another lie? Am I insane for even considering a reconciliation? A memory slices through me. That time I caught her texting him on a Sunday afternoon, how she claimed it was just a coworker, or the business trip she extended an extra day for networking. All those cracks in the facade that I refused to notice, because I was too busy clinging to hope. I shower, change into fresh clothes, then find myself pacing the house. Everything looks normal. Photos of us smiling at a beach resort, the small pile of shoes by the door, the certificates on the wall. I feel a wave of disgust at this facade, as if the house is mocking me with its illusions of a happy marriage. An hour later, I'm in the kitchen, staring at the remnants of last night's events, the empty glass, the near-empty bottle of bourbon, when I hear the door unlock. Melissa steps in, wearing the same blouse and skirt from last night, her face pale. She's holding a coffee cup from a nearby shop, like this is just another morning. Good morning, she says softly. I say nothing, just watch her place the coffee on the table. She tries to hand one to me, but I don't take it. Her hand trembles slightly before she sets it down. She exhales. I didn't sleep much. I kept thinking about what to say, How to? Save it, I interject. I know what you did. I know why. I just don't know where we go from here. She nods slowly, tears pooling again. I'll do anything you ask. If you want me gone, I'll pack up. If you want to try counseling, I'll do it. I'm done lying. I feel a bitter laugh rumbling in my chest. You say you're done lying, but how can I believe you? She steps closer. You don't have to believe me right away, but please, just give me a chance. My stomach twists with resentment. I think of my father, who always said, a man doesn't cry. He finds solutions. So what's my solution? Accept her. Let her stay. Watch her every move like a jail warden. Or do I burn everything down and walk away? A sudden memory hits me. The phone call about the test results. The voice telling me she lied about everything. I know we have no kids, so it wasn't a paternity test. It was something else, something that confirmed her endless string of deceptions. Maybe money hidden away, or a business detail. I never got the full explanation. Now that knowledge weighs on me like a lead block. I clench my fists. Are you done with Travis for real? She nods vigorously. I swear. I told him last night. We argued. I said it's over. I glare at her. You argued. I bet he didn't like hearing that. A flicker of sadness crosses her face. He was upset, tried to convince me you'd never forgive me. But I hung up on him. I came straight back here, but I couldn't face you last night. I needed time to think. I swallow a bitter taste. And what did you conclude? That I want to fix this marriage, she whispers. If there's even a sliver of hope, I want it. Against my better judgment, I feel something shift inside me. A small crack in the wall of anger. I hate that a part of me still loves her, still wants to believe in the woman I married. But I can't just hand her a clean slate. I can't promise you anything. I say, I'm not the same man I was before all this. She lowers her head. I understand. I stare out the window, my mind simmering with conflicting thoughts. I recall the vow I made last night, my vow to dismantle her world of lies. That includes Travis. And no lawyer, no insurance, no alliances. Those were my words to myself. I meant it. Look, I say, turning to her, voice cold. I'm going to do what I have to do. I won't be a bystander in my own life anymore. She nods as if bracing for impact. I'll cooperate. Whatever you need. I spend the next few days in a haze of planning. I contact a close friend in the legal field, start putting pieces in place. I'm not filing for divorce just yet, but I want to ensure that if Melissa tries any slick moves, like draining our accounts or making a quick exit, I'm protected. A part of me aches that we've come to this, that I'm preparing for war with my own wife, but the distrust runs deep now. She hovers, tries to be helpful, tries to talk. She cooks dinner, cleans the house, asks how I'm feeling every couple of hours. It feels like too little, too late. The tension is suffocating. At night, I let her sleep in our bedroom, while I stay on the couch, unable to share that intimacy. I see the sorrow in her eyes, but it doesn't budge my resolve. On the third day, Travis calls. It's late evening, and I'm home alone. Melissa is out getting groceries, she says. The phone lights up with his number. Against my better judgment, I answer. David, he says in a cautious tone. I grit my teeth. What? I just want to talk, man to man. This whole situation's gotten out of hand. My laugh is humorless. Out of hand. You sleep with my wife, you call me behind her back, and now it's out of hand. He clears his throat. Look, she told me it's over. I'm not trying to disrespect your marriage any further, all right. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. His apology lands like a cheap coin tossed at a beggar. My jaw flexes with rage. You think an apology fixes anything? He's silent for a moment. No, I guess not. But save it, I spit. Stay away from her, stay away from me. If I see you again, you'll regret it. I end the call, heart pounding. My hand trembles with the urge to throw the phone across the room. Then I remember my vow. I'm here to dismantle her world of lies, not let him off easy with an apology. Melissa returns, and she can sense my agitation. She sets the groceries on the counter. Did Travis call? I glare at her. Yes. He's sorry. Isn't that sweet? She looks away. I can't control what he does. Maybe you should have thought about that before you climbed into bed with him. The words are harsh, and I see how they cut her. She fights back tears, but I don't relent. I want her to feel every ounce of betrayal, because beneath that anger is my own heartbreak, swirling like a storm. Eventually, her composure cracks. She storms upstairs, slamming the bedroom door. I stand in the kitchen, breathing heavily, searching for any sense of relief and finding none. Days turn into a week. We exist under the same roof, but the distance between us grows. Her attempts at apology begin to ring hollow, and my bitterness festers. I feel a slow burn of rage that seeps into everyday life. Little remarks, cold silences, a quiet refusal to share a meal. I pretend to be composed, but inside, a part of me is unraveling. That same part that used to believe in love, in marriage, in the promise that we'd face everything together. Now, I'm not sure I'll ever trust anyone again. Then one night, something shifts. I get a message from my lawyer friend. He's found some questionable financial activity in Melissa's business accounts. Money moved around. Mentions of Travis in the transaction notes. My chest tightens at the realization that this affair might go beyond physical betrayal. Did they plan something behind my back financially as well? It's nearly midnight. Melissa's in bed, presumably asleep. I slip quietly into the room, flick on the lamp. She stirs, blinking at me through tired eyes. David, she murmurs. I hold out my phone, the screen glowing with the summary of her financial dealings. Explain this, I demand. She sits up, hair disheveled, alarm widening her eyes. What is that? Money. I snap. Your accounts. Travis's name. Did you two set up some secret plan? Were you funneling money for your new life together? Her lips part in disbelief. No, that's not. Travis had some architectural project. He wanted me to invest. I only gave him a small amount because it seemed like a good opportunity. I swear it wasn't about running off. I narrow my eyes, stepping closer to the bed. You're lying again. She shakes her head, tears gathering. I'm not. It was business. That's all. Business, I echo, voice dripping with sarcasm. Sure. How convenient. She tries to speak, but I storm out, letting her voice trail off into the hallway. The further I go, the more my anger morphs into something colder. Something that pushes me to finalize this, to bring it all crashing down. The next morning, I confront her in the living room, that same place where everything began to unravel. My posture is rigid, arms folded. She stands by the window, looking haggard, her eyes ringed with exhaustion. I want a legal separation, I say bluntly. She pales. David. I hold up a hand. I'm not filing for divorce yet, but I need boundaries. You'll move out, temporarily. Get your own place if you want. I'm not your safety net anymore. Her shoulders slump. I understand. She looks down at the carpet, voice trembling. I'll go. A flicker of guilt tugs at me. Once upon a time, I would never have imagined throwing her out. But I can't live under the same roof while my mind replays her betrayal on loop. She nods, as if accepting a sentence. I'll pack a few things. I watch her go, a heavy knot forming in my chest. This is revenge, a step toward regaining control, but it tastes bitter. The thought that I might never hold her again, never truly forgive, gnaws at me. Yet, I can't back down. Weeks pass in a swirl of paperwork and pointed silences. She's out, staying in a small corporate apartment near downtown. We communicate only via text about finances or mail. People at work notice my short temper, the new lines etched into my face. I push forward, fueled by anger and heartbreak in equal measure. Then, on a gray afternoon, I get a message from her. "I need to see you. Can we talk?" A part of me wants to ignore it, but curiosity, or leftover love, wins. I agree to meet at a small coffee shop near the office. She's already there when I arrive, sitting at a corner table, clutching a cup. The sight of her sends a jolt of pain through my chest. She looks thinner, paler. She glances up, eyes rimmed with sadness. I sit down, not bothering to order anything. "What's this about?" She exhales shakily. "I wanted you to know that Travis is gone. He moved back to California. I have no contact with him." I say nothing, scanning her face for signs of deception. She continues, voice low. "I'm not telling you this because I expect some miracle. I know you wanted to dismantle every safety net I had, every lie. And you did. I lost him. I lost you. I lost everything." She pauses, blinking back tears. And somehow, that's what I needed to see how badly I messed up. My breath comes slow, controlled. "So what now? You want me to pat you on the back?" She shakes her head. "No. I just thought you deserved to know I'm not with him anymore. I'm trying to rebuild my life. And if there's any part of you that can forgive, I'd be grateful to have a chance." I lean back, my heart thudding. Her words are sincere, or they sound that way. But the memory of her betrayal is still fresh. "Forgiveness," I murmur, almost to myself. I've spent nights lying awake, trying to figure out if I can do that. She nods, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I understand if you can't." For a long moment, we sit there in silence, the hum of the coffee shop around us. She finally musters the courage to meet my gaze. "I'll leave you alone if that's what you want," she whispers. "But I had to see you, to tell you, it's done. No more lies." I stare at her. In that moment, a wave of memories hits me. Our first date, the day we moved into our home, the road trips, the nights of laughter. Then the lies, the heartbreak, the images of her and Travis. My chest tightens painfully. "I don't know if I can ever trust you again," I say, voice rough. "But I won't spend my life drowning in hatred. I'm tired. Tired of being angry, tired of feeling betrayed." She nods, tears falling freely. "So am I." I push back from the table and stand. "I need time. That's all I can give you right now." She stands too, shoulders trembling. "Thank you for hearing me out." Without another word, I walk away out of the coffee shop, the cold wind biting at my face. As I head back to my car, I feel something in my chest shift. Not quite relief, not quite peace, but the first hint that maybe, just maybe, I can find a way out of this pit. The separation continues. We arrange to meet a counselor, not as a couple, but individually. I talk about betrayal, about the rage I felt. She talks about shame and regret. The process is painful, raw, and at times I want to quit. Yet I persist, if only to prove to myself that I can face my demons. Bit by bit, day by day, I start to see my reflection in the mirror without wincing. The man looking back still bears scars, but he's not as broken as before. Melissa sends me emails about financial matters, about the leftover investments Travis pitched to her. I track them carefully, making sure there's no more hidden lies. Slowly, I begin to see that her story holds up. Travis is gone, back to San Diego, from what I can tell. She asks if I'd be willing to meet again. This time for dinner, in a public place. I hesitate, uncertain. Then I accept, more out of curiosity than hope. We meet at a quiet restaurant off the main strip. She wears a simple dress, minimal makeup. There's a fragility in her eyes, like she knows one misstep could collapse everything. Dinner passes with strained small talk at first, but eventually we share memories, nostalgic ones about our early years. The tension eases enough for a faint smile to cross my face. She notices. A trace of optimism lights her eyes. After dinner, we walk to our cars. A drizzle of rain dampens our clothes. She hesitates, looks up at me. David, I know I don't deserve it, but is there any chance we can try to see if there's something left between us? The question slices through me. Part of me wants to say yes, to hold her, to pretend we can patch this up. Another part screams never to trust her again. My mind flickers to the vow of revenge, the plan to strip her of everything. In many ways, I've done that. She's alone, her reputation in shambles, her finances under scrutiny. I rub a hand over my face, glancing at the wet pavement. Melissa, I'm not sure. It's going to take more than a few dinners to fix this. She nods, tears threatening again. I know. But I'm here. No more secrets. I search her gaze. Despite everything, a small ember in my chest stirs, some leftover love that refuses to die. Let's see how counseling goes, I say quietly. Step by step. Relief flickers across her face. She thanks me, then gets in her car. I stand in the rain, watching her drive away, a swirl of conflicting emotions in my stomach. The next few months form a slow, unsteady path towards something that looks like healing. We remain separated, but see each other weekly for therapy sessions and occasional dinners. There are fights, tears, moments when I want to cut all ties. There are also moments of surprising tenderness, fleeting reminders of why I loved her in the first place. One evening, after a particularly grueling counseling session, I sit in my car outside the therapist's office, head resting on the steering wheel. Melissa and I have delved deeper into the affair, the reasons, the consequences. It's exhausting, but it's a step toward honesty I never imagined we'd take. She emerges from the office, sees me, and walks over. Her eyes are puffy from crying, but she knocks gently on the window. I roll it down. I'm sorry for everything, she says, voice trembling. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but I had to say it again. I look at her, a small ache in my chest. I know. She offers a tentative smile. You heading home? Yeah. She nods, stepping back. Me too. I watch her walk to her car, thinking about how drastically life can change in a matter of months. From comfortable marriage to betrayal to separation. And yet here we are, still tangling with each other, trying to salvage the fragments. The day of the final confrontation with Travis arrives out of nowhere. I'd assumed he was gone for good, but he makes an unannounced visit to Chicago, apparently to finalize some architectural deals he left hanging. Somehow he gets my address, maybe from old records or a shared contact. I come home from work to find him standing on my porch, a suitcase by his feet. My heart slams into my rib cage. What the hell are you doing here? I growl. He raises his hands, palms outward. Easy, man. I'm just here to talk. I glance around the neighborhood, half expecting to see Melissa's car. But she's not here. I have nothing to say to you. He steps closer, foolishly ignoring my warning expression. Listen, I'm heading back to California for good. But I wanted to give you something. He reaches into his coat pocket, pulls out a small folder. What is this? I snap, not taking it. He sighs. Documents. Proof that what Melissa invested with me was purely business. I didn't want you blaming her for stuff that's not her fault. I feel my jaw tighten. My instinct is to hurl the folder into the street, but curiosity forces me to accept it. I flip it open, see numbers, signatures, references. My hands shake with a memory of betrayal, but I quickly realize it's legitimate. He's formalizing the dissolution of any partnership with her. Travis reads my face, nods. I know you think I'm scum, he says. I get it. What happened was wrong. But I'm not a thief, and I don't want her in legal trouble. I shoot him a cold glare. Oh well, that's mighty kind of you. He closes his eyes briefly. David, I'm sorry. I really am. I never wanted to blow up your marriage. A sharp, bitter laugh escapes me. But you did. He lowers his gaze. Yeah, and now I'm leaving. I just wanted to make sure everything's clean so Melissa can move on. So you both can. Do whatever you decide. Anger boils up. I see the vision of him and her tangled in bedsheets, whispering secrets, leaving me in the dark. Before I realize it, my fist connects with his jaw, a solid impact that sends him staggering against the porch railing. He clutches his face, eyes wide. "Stay away," I hiss, clenching my fists. "Stay far away." He nods, spitting blood onto the porch. For a heartbeat, I wonder if he'll fight back, but he doesn't. He just stands there, silent, holding his jaw. I point toward the street. "Get the hell off my property." Without another word, he picks up his suitcase and hurries down the path, limping slightly, face twisted in pain. I watch him vanish into a waiting cab, and only then do I realize my breath is ragged, my knuckles throbbing. I slump against the door, the folder still clutched in my hand. I feel an odd rush of satisfaction, but also a pang of regret. Violence never solves anything, my father always said. Yet a flicker of relief sparks in my chest. Maybe this is the final step, the moment I truly sever that connection. That evening, I call Melissa and tell her what happened. She's alarmed, worried I hurt Travis badly. I sense some lingering concern in her tone, which stabs me with jealousy. But she also expresses relief that the financial situation is resolved. We talk for the first time in months, like two people who might still have a future. She thanks me for protecting her, for clearing the air. And strangely, it feels like we're on the same side again, if only for a moment. I hang up, gaze at the silent house. The tension that's haunted me is lighter now. Travis is gone. The affair is over, and I've taken steps to protect myself. My vow, to see her world of lies dismantled, is nearly complete. She has no illusions left, no safety net but honesty, and I hold all the cards. Yet, I'm not as triumphant as I imagined. Revenge, it turns out, is a cold comfort. Still, as I walk through the house, past the living room, the empty glass on the counter that I never put away, I feel something shifting. A sense of closure, maybe. The worst is done. The only question now is, where do we go from here? Weeks later, Melissa and I stand in the same living room. She's come to collect more of her things, though there's talk of maybe trying to live together again in the future. For now, we're still separated, working through counseling, testing if there's anything left worth saving. I watch her move around the room, carefully packing her belongings. It hits me how surreal this all is. My own wife, once the center of my life, is now like a guest in what used to be our home. We exchange small talk, but the subtext is massive, filled with shared pain and cautious hope. Eventually, she pauses, her eyes flicking to mine. "Would you like to grab dinner tonight?" she asks, voice trembling with vulnerability. I hesitate, searching her face. I see regret, sorrow, maybe a hint of the woman I fell in love with years ago. Slowly, I nod. "Yeah," I say. "I'd like that." A smile, fragile but genuine, crosses her lips. It's not a grand reconciliation, not by a long shot, but it's a step. We both know the road ahead is littered with debris, trust cracked wide open. But at least we're both standing on that road, willing to see if we can patch it together. As she closes her suitcase, I walk over, pick up that same empty glass from the countertop. I turn it in my hands, remembering the night it all came crashing down. The night she walked upstairs to shower and left me alone with a soul full of doubts. Now at least everything is in the open, no more illusions, no more secrets. I set the glass down firmly. My chest feels tight, but not with the same choking despair. Instead, there's a cautious resolve. Maybe we can't erase the past, but we can decide how the future unfolds. I look at Melissa, meet her uncertain gaze. "Let's go," I say, my voice steady. "We'll figure this out, one step at a time." A tear slips down her cheek, but she's smiling, and I feel the faintest lift in my chest, like the first breath after a long suffocation. I take a deep breath, and for the first time in months, It feels like I might actually be able to exhale without pain. Because in the end, the walls have closed in on her, on me, on Travis, on all of us. There's no escape from the consequences of what we've done. But there might still be a way through the ruins, a path forward that doesn't end in total darkness. I lock the door behind us, stepping into the cool evening. And for a moment, I let myself believe there's a chance for redemption, for healing, maybe even forgiveness. Time will tell if it's real or just another illusion. But I've made my choice, and that choice is to face the pain, together or apart. No more shadows, no more running, no more empty glasses filled with broken promises. Just reality, raw and unforgiving. But at least it's honest. We walk to the car, side by side, uncertain but willing, each step a quiet testament to the possibility of starting over. And as the door clicks shut behind us, I can't help but allow a faint spark of hope to flicker in the darkness.